Sasha, how are you,
Yo,
bro?
what's up?
I'm great, bro. How are you?
I'm doing good.
I was just trying
Perfect.
to scroll down to see if you ever did an introduction post when you joined the community. Do you remember if you posted in there? I can't see that you
I
did
I
actually.
did. I did. Yes.
You did? Because would you believe you've been in the community exactly 1 month?
Really?
Yeah, and it feels like longer. Oh, here we
Yeah,
go.
crazy.
Introduction.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share this for context because I saw you put your win in the other day and I was like, how long has Sasha actually even been in the community? So this was
Started,
actually after you joined 24 days ago. You joined
I
October.
guess, because I didn't post right away. So that makes sense. It must be exactly because I think it was about a week and then I posted.
And you mentioned that you'd been in ecom for some time, you've been dropshipping for a little while. You actually went on to sell a store, but all of your experience prior had been primarily Meta, right?
Yeah, I've done a lot of paid social advertising on all social platforms, but I never did anything on Google.
What is it within about 30 days? You've managed to launch a new store and you're now doing consistent 2K days. Is that fair to say based on the
Actually,
past
yeah,
5 weeks or
yesterday I had
so?
my first 3K day yesterday.
No way. This is crazy. From how much
Yeah,
spend?
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. So I'm doing consistent 2K days now, yes, for over a week now. And yesterday, and actually, I think 2,500, I think is the average
Yeah.
right now. And yesterday was the first day I hit exactly 3K. I was like,
Bro.
shit, that's crazy. And the thing is, that store is only advertised with Google. That was the whole purpose of this store, is to run it only with Google so I can learn and understand how Google works. I still don't have a lot of clues what I'm doing, but
Mm.
that's what you're here.
To say that you don't have a clue of what you're doing, to be at 3K days, I'd say you're doing just fine, bro. I think with a little bit of
Yeah.
guidance from myself. But yeah, you're doing very well. So how has it been your experience so far being inside of the Google Ads Ecom Academy?
Well, I was looking for a Google e-commerce course, mentorship, coaching for a long time because there's not a lot of information out there. And I went through the course and it's really good structured. And then that's even like down to the videos. The videos are short and concise, so you can consume them in a very easy manner. And it's well explained and it gave me a very good understanding just from this course itself. It gave me a very good understanding on where to start and where to go. And then additionally, there's the calls, the weekly calls. I would say these calls helped me the most because I could literally ask you a question and you would explain me what I do, give me action items, and guide me to improve my performance, which was, I think, the key factor for me. I'm a very touchy guy. I want to touch and change everything very quickly. And sometimes it was just you saying, hey, no, just let it run.
Yeah.
And I talked about it when I had like 0 sales one day and no, let it run. Okay, it's okay. And then I had like 1,500, 2 grand. Like I hit consistent record days after record days. So yeah. So yeah, that experience was very good so far.
Yeah, yeah, I really, really appreciate that feedback. And I would say a lot of the time that is it, especially when you're learning something new. I think the additional calls that we do on a weekly basis definitely help because as much as I can create and teach maybe the principles in a video, every single like business or account is slightly different in some senses. Like, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, like a shopping ad is still a shopping ad and search is still search, but everyone a lot of the time has slightly different niches, maybe working on different margins. Like one strategy that's working well on one store may not exactly work the same on another, or you're going to run into different problems, different search terms. Like there's so many different variables at play, and that's just in the ad account. What about the website and the structure that you're running and your conversion rate? So many different variables. So I guess I can teach all of these things as much as possible in content, but there's always going to be questions that are bespoke to you and your business, especially in your case. Like we won't share too much about your niche or your setup, but your approach is quite unique as well, so slightly different to what some of the other guys are doing in here.
Can I say something real quick? I think it's not only the methods and the strategies and all the things in the course, because everything that is covered in a very detailed manner, but I think the calls help because every person retains different information from the video material. So even if 20 people watch the same course, they're gonna have different understandings. They remember different things, so they have different questions they want to clarify, and that's where you do a very, very good job in the calls.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I guess I will add as well, yeah, you're right. It's not just that, but it comes down to the individual and maybe even their mindset. You mentioned you're obviously a little bit touchy when it comes to the ad account. And I do get that because I think, would you say Meta is a bit more reactive in that sense in some ways, where it's like run it 3 days, if it doesn't work, kill it kind of thing. Whereas Google, it's like, well, let's review, let's check the data, let's optimize and not necessarily take your time with it, but it'd be interesting to get your perspective on that coming from someone with like a social background that's quite heavy.
Well, there is certainly a lot of data you have to analyze in Meta as well. Like it's at the end of the day, it's media buying. You always have to analyze your data. But with Google, the optimization works different. And as you just said, it can take a couple of days and then it kicks in. With Meta, that can happen as well. But a lot of the times you can very quickly see if, for example, for 1 or 2 days, the CPM is very high, very rare cases, the CPM drops. Sometimes it drops, but then usually you see it in the very beginning. In the very beginning, you have very good clues if the ad is performing or not. And sometimes it's just like the ad itself. Sometimes it's your targeting. Whatever you do, it's like I said, it's a little bit more reactive and you can move quickly. If it's working, it's working. Not always, it's like a generalization, but I would say in 8 out of 10 cases, if it's working right away. And that's with Google a little different. In Google, you see it moving and you adjust all the settings and then you make it work. And that's not my thing.
Yeah, well, it's starting to become though. It's starting to become your thing, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really appreciate you sharing your perspective on that. It's funny, I was speaking to someone earlier, and it's interesting that you mentioned that about CPMs, where I was trying to explain to someone the key differences between Meta and Google that I think a lot of people don't know. And I said, Meta, exactly like you said, a lot of the time you're dictated by the CPM. Like, don't get me wrong, if you have a really good click-through rate and a really good conversion rate, then you're still going to be able to be profitable. But one niche might have a £30 or $30 CPM, another might have a $10 CPM. Like, that's why I think there's such a strong emphasis on really strong creative and the creative being really good. I think that's why maybe some people are struggling on Meta at the moment, because there's such a strong emphasis on the creative now. And I know you said there is still media buying involved, but I keep hearing a lot of people that basically just saying, like, from the degree of interest targeting and all, like getting into the nitty-gritty of the data, that's still available, but it's very much just kind of run it up on broad initially, see what the data is saying, see what the CPM is, and then optimize the creative and keep doing creative refreshes as opposed to making internal adjustments at a campaign level. Is that true, would you say? Or?
Yeah, I would say so. On socials, you don't have a lot of influence with the targeting anymore. Sometimes I still target very big interests, like very large interests with millions of reach. But in most cases, it's just broad targeting, maybe the age. And then you have to nail the creatives. Because if the videos dictate how well Facebook or TikTok, Snapchat, whatever, is going to push your ads, that is the main thing you can twist. And you also have to renew them all the time to keep going. In that sense, I think it's more emphasis of creative, which I like about Google, because you don't have that. You don't have any creatives. You have to keep creating new ones, but also you have to create different ones. And you have to find format that works for that product, for that audience. That, of course, there is like formats we use for everything, but then you still have to, there's nuance. There is small things, and you don't have that with Google at all. You just write your ads and you let it run. At least with the search and shopping, you have to feed, but you don't have to create video imagery to perform.
For sure. And I guess the most distinct difference as well is on Google, you only pay when someone actually clicks on the ad. So they're almost self-qualifying themselves. Getting back to what I was saying earlier about the CPM, where sometimes on Meta, I think you're dictated by the CPM in some senses, or you have to really improve your creative to get around potentially a high CPM. Whereas Google, yes, you're affected by the cost per click, but usually the CPC is in relation to the level of competition or potentially the product that you're selling or the placement that you're going for. So there's ways to navigate it, as you know now, using like your search impression share and stuff like that. So yeah, two distinct differences between the platforms there that I just wanted to clarify, because a lot of people I speak to don't actually realize that. So I think it's worth noting. But back to you and your unique scenario, you mentioned you're aiming for 100K months. That's the goal now, right? So what's performance last 30 days then? Is it about 40K now?
I mean, I can check right now. I think it's around 35. But you do have to mention that was in the very beginning where sales were not consistent. I had low days, high days. And now, like I said, I'm making consistent 2K a day. If it stays like that, I'm on track to do 60K just with Germany at the current stage. and actually increased the budget yesterday as well. I also have to say that right now I'm converting at a 10x ROAS, which is on Meta for me unheard of. So that's crazy for me to put in like one euro and get 10 out. It's money printing. And it's super consistent as well. That's something I'm fighting on Meta as well. As soon as you hit a certain budget, that kind of stabilize it if you have the ability to spend a lot. But if you're not spending enough, a lot of times you have a lot of inconsistencies. And I don't see that right now. So from the 25th, which is about 2 weeks now, it's completely stable. There's not a single day I had below, I think, 1,500. But every day there is a consistent ROAS, which is very, very relaxing as well.
Yeah, I saw you sent me a picture of you at some kind of spa over the weekend, right?
Oh, yeah.
Chilling, bro. Amazing. 10x ROAS. That's insane, bro. It's very interesting. And that's only German market at the moment. So that's the other thing. Right? As soon as you've got consistency with one market, you can just begin testing in another. And as you know now, you can pretty much just copy and paste your campaign. So if you really dial in what's working in Germany, chances are as you start to expand into other markets, of which now I think you're testing the UK, like you can see how scalable this could potentially be. And this is 30 days in, like, or maybe like 6 weeks in with the store.
5 weeks. I started on the 1st of October. So it's on the 1st of last month. So it's really 5 weeks. That's something I also like about Google because you can scale in countries. Obviously, I'm not a brand that has complicated processes to go in different countries. I just have to make sure that the language and currency is congruent with the country, and then I can go in that country. And with Google, you can go in different countries like that. On Meta, it's easier in other ways than it is on Google, but it's duplicating the campaign and switching the keywords to the language. Hopefully will work because in UK right now, I'm testing, as you know, it's not running as smoothly, because I have to dial down the keywords and everything. There's a couple of things we still have to change, but I think that's majorly because of competitor and stuff like that. But it's still going to be very reachable to hit 100K. With the German market, I'm now at 2K a day, 2.5K a day, which will result in 60K a month. And then the other two markets, France and UK, will for sure hit 1K days as well within a couple of weeks, I hope.
I hope you're as excited as I am, bro, because I really think these are going to be some crazy months coming up for you. Like,
I think so too. Yes. We're going to have the crazy months together.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm really looking forward to it. So on that note then, Sasha, what would you say to someone who's maybe considering joining the Google Ads Ecom Academy?
If you looking for guidance, first of all, content that teaches you all the things you need, and then also guidance, I think that's the right thing to do. I do a lot of different coachings in different areas, but the major difference for me in everything I've done so far was to have a person to ask questions and get guidance this way, whether being it directly on WhatsApp with somebody or like it is with you on the weekly calls, like once a week there is the call. No matter in which way it is, it's always the one difference that I have when I have somebody to actually ask a question and get a feedback to my questions, what I need right now. And that's what I value a lot about you, Theo, is you answer the questions in a very, first of all, you don't answer right away, but you get the question, you think about it, okay, I think that's the best way to go. This is the answer. And you answer in a very detailed manner. I've never had a question and was like, okay, I don't know what that's supposed to be. But it's always, I answer the question, I have a full answer right away without having any doubts or follow-up questions. Of course, I always have questions, but you always answer the questions I'm asking you, which is very good as well. And that shows you have a lot of experience as well, which is very important as well. It shows that you're not just talking, but you walk the walk. You've done a lot yourself. Also, when I see other people asking questions, you answer them with the same intent. So I really appreciate that. So anybody that wants to join, you get everything you need in here.
Really, really appreciate the kind words, Sasha. Thank you very much. And looking forward to seeing your continued success. Like, genuinely, I am actually excited, especially when I see like your posts and you tell me the numbers you're doing. I'm just like, yes, like, let's go.
Yeah, we're going to do an update in maybe a month or two to see where we're at. Maybe I will, sit here broke with like a 3-day beard and ramen noodles, everything crashed. But I don't think so. I
don't know. We'll have to catch up in a month and see how you're getting on. Amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Really appreciate the kind words. And like I say, really excited to see your continued success.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Anytime, brother. Thank you.